Can someone please explain to me how Jasmine Crockett keeps getting away with her racist rhetoric? How does she keep getting away with it? You have the World Cup. Now, if I think the World Cup was the best thing for the USA and summer. It was just a fun time where people were coming over, experiencing America. I love seeing all the food videos. I love seeing just like people having a great time in this country. One part. So now you go and say, oh, the only reason why people were rooting for Spain is because of their racist history. What? No one was even thinking about race when it came to this. Oh my gosh. Maybe Spain was just the better team? Because it's a sport? And guess what? Whoever is the better team usually wins. Wow. What a concept. But I will continue to preach about this because, like I said, some black people can be some of the most racist people we have in this country. How is what she spews continuously? I'm not talking about just little one-offs here and there. The woman's whole platform is about how everything is racist against black people. How black people are just the ultimate victims. We're so bottom of the barrel that we have to just always get handouts. We need help. All of that is her whole platform. And now we're adding in the World Cup and you're somehow making it racist? I'm so tired. I'm so tired. And this is the thing. I was happy to see her elevation, not as a Democrat, but just as a black woman with a voice. And she has totally let me down. I actually don't agree with anything that she says. I can't think of anything at this moment in time that I agree with. Guys, let's remember that we are supposed to be united. Stop listening to these politicians that only just want to separate us. United we stand. What a concept.
We're back again for another edition of the Republican Party's Great Replacement Theory Therapy Session, where all the white men of the House Judiciary Committee lecture Americans on the importance of mass deportations so that they preserve their so-called American values, like shooting and killing American citizens who are peacefully protesting, or stuffing hundreds of thousands of people into cages without proper nutrition or medical care. World Cup that captured the imaginations of the entire world when they saw all of these people of color that was playing for all these teams. And ultimately, if you recall, the last two teams, it was Argentina and Spain. And it seemed like the vast majority of the world was rooting for Argentina, or actually against Argentina, right? And why was that? Just give me an explanation if you could guess, if you'll just let them finish the answer.
Spain had the best team. Maybe that's why they were rooting for them.
There's also a racist history that exists as relates to Argentina.
You're recognized.
Thank you.
What's up, family? Hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications because we got a lot to get into today. Now, and I want to talk about something that's been bothering me for a minute, and it's Jasmine Crockett. And I'm not just talking about one thing she said. I'm talking about the pattern, the nonstop, never-ending pattern of her saying the most racist, divisive, reckless stuff you can imagine on national platforms, and somehow nobody in the mainstream media ever calls her out on it. In the latest example, she went after the World Cup. The World Cup, family. You had the whole country coming together, people from all over the world, visiting America, having a good time, eating food, celebrating sports, and somehow Jasmine Crockett found a way to make it about race. She said the reason people were rooting for Spain in the World Cup was because of Spain's racist history, quote unquote. Not because Spain had the better team, not because people like their style of play. No, according to her, if you rooted for Spain, it's because you are racist. And I gotta say, that is one of the dumbest things I've heard a sitting member of Congress say out loud. So let's be real for a second. Nobody was sitting at home watching the World Cup thinking about colonial history when they picked which team to root for. People root for the team that plays the best. They root for the team with the players they like. They root for the team that's exciting to watch, and that's how sports work. That's how sports have always worked. But Jasmine Crockett can't see the world that way because her entire political brand is built on seeing everything through the lens of race. Every single thing that happens, she has to find a way to make it about white people being bad, about black people being victims, and about some system holding us down. And I'm tired of it, family. I'm tired of watching somebody who claims to represent the people, we the people, spend all her time telling a certain race, as in black people, that they're helpless, they're hopeless, they need government to save them, that every white person is out to get them. That's not leadership, that's brainwashing. And the craziest part is she's a black woman saying this about black people, and because of her skin color, she gets a pass that nobody else will get. Interesting.
Congresswoman, do you know what today is? Well, of course I know what today is. It's Black Women's Equality Pay Day. And we know in this country, unfortunately, Black women tend to be undervalued, under-resourced, yet expected to do more with less. The same work for the same pay. This really shouldn't be a hard concept that Black women should get paid.
Then take your ass to work. See, this is the problem, right? You run around, you say we're the most educated. No, you have some bullshit degrees and some shitty ass jobs. Most educated amongst black people, yet you're still lower paid than black men, and black men are hard workers. Maybe this education thing for y'all isn't going the way that you want it to go because you're going into bullshit careers. You're not less valued than white women. Nobody sees it that way. White people don't even see it that way. You know who sees it that way? You do, because you're professional victims. Now, Jasmine Crockett shit comes out and says, is black women pay equal? Like, who invented this day? Is this like Juneteenth or some shit? What are you talking about? You go into a job, they're going to offer you what they can pay you, right? You think because you're black, that's the reason they don't pay you? No, it's because you don't work. Skedaddle.
Congresswoman, do you know what today is? Well, of course I know what today is. It's Black Women's Equality Pay Day. And we know in this country, unfortunately, Black women tend to be undervalued, under-resourced, yet expected to do more with less. The same work for the same pay. This really shouldn't be a hard concept that Black women should get paid.
Now, this is what she posted on X with this video. Today is Black Women's Equal Pay Day, and in 2026, Black women are still only making 65 cents on the dollar. Pay Black women, period. A goofy video, just stupid, just dumb. Black women are making 65 cents on the dollar compared to who and how and why? First off, it's white men. But then I said, okay, well, let's see what she's talking about. This 65 cents per dollar compares what the average black woman makes compared to the average white man makes. And it does not take into account what job they chose, occupational choices, hours worked, experience, or education levels. I want to say this again. It does not take into account what job they chose to pursue. Different jobs pay different amounts of money. It doesn't take into account how many hours they worked. It also doesn't take into account their education levels. I can't be the only one who sees how stupid this is. And this woman is in Congress. She's helping to write and she votes on laws. There are so many variables that play a role in this that she's just ignoring. It's unserious. But, it's about, showing I'm supporting black women and getting out there and saying something and virtue signaling, because that's what Democrats are about. They're about virtue signaling, patting themselves on the back, making themselves feel moral, and then opposing Donald Trump, crying about racism. And videos like this will lead black women to think they're oppressed in the United States when they're not. Black women are not oppressed. Black men are not oppressed. And we need leaders who actually come out and say that and actually talk about decision making and consistently stacking good decision on top of good decision on top of good decision rather than complaining about history, the white man, and slavery, and wanting reparations and whatnot. The Democratic Party is not beneficial for Black people. It just enables, what's the best word I want to use? It enables self-destructive behavior for Black people. They're enablers of that. But I talk about topics like this more in depth in my email newsletter. I send that out every morning around 7 a.m. Central. The link is in my profile. So just click that link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go.
Jasmine Crockett says that we should deport all white supremacists. And I don't typically agree with her, but I agree with her on this. And I also want to double down and say that we shouldn't just support deporting all white supremacists, but we should support deporting all Black supremacists and brown supremacists and basically anybody that is racist and hates people based off the color of their skin. So I emphatically agree with you, Jasmine Crockett, but there's a problem, and this problem is for you. You see, if we have to support deporting racists, you would be the number one racist that would be deported. You'd be the top of the list, because everything that comes out of your mouth is about hating white people and how white people are dangerous and how white people are bad people and how white people are a threat to society. Everything that comes out of your mouth is racist. And so you being the Black supremacist that you are, I believe that you top the charts and you should be the very first person to be deported. People love to say that white people are racist, but they hate to say that Black people are probably the most racist people who are not held accountable, which gives them the privilege to be able to go into the media and actually spew hatred towards a race and get away with it. I think it's disgusting, but at the same time, again, I agree with you, Jasmine Crockett. But I also believe you should be the very first person to be on a flight going to I don't care where, because that's the right thing to do.
All right, so you seen what Jasmine Crockett said. Let's talk about her Black Woman's Equal Pay Day video, right? Because this one really gets me. She posted the video on X talking about how Black women only make 65 cents on the dollar compared to white men, and she's acting like this is proof of systemic racism. But here's what she's not telling you, family. That 65 cents number, as you heard, does not take into account the job you choose. It does not take into account how many hours you worked. It does not take into account your education level. It does not take into account your years of experience. It's literally just comparing the average pay of every Black woman against the average pay of every white man, regardless of what job they do. That's not a real comparison. That's a political talking point designed to make you angry, not to inform you. And you got a woman in Congress, a lawyer supposedly, pushing this lie like it's gospel truth. She knows better. She absolutely knows better, but the truth doesn't get her on TV. The truth doesn't get her speaking engagements, and the truth doesn't get her book deals. Playing the victim gets her all of that. And this is where it gets really ugly, family, because you got people like Jasmine Crockett and that whole wing of the Democratic Party who have built a multi-million-dollar industry out of telling Black people they're broken. Think about it. If Black people were actually doing well, if Black people were actually thriving, if Black people were actually successful, what would they talk about? They wouldn't have a platform. Their entire existence depends on convincing, keyword, you that the system is rigged against you, that you can't make it on your own, that you need them to fight for you. And while they're telling you that, they're living in nice houses, driving nice cars, sending their kids to private schools and counting their money. The same people who tell you that you can't make it in America are making it just fine in America off the money they got from convincing you that you can't make it. That's the grift, family. That's the whole game.
Right, World Cup and the people that cheer for it are racist. According to who? Jasmine Crockett, the woman who is least comfortable in being a Black person, I believe. This lady, I'm convinced, she doesn't like being Black. I'm convinced of it. She's very uncomfortable being Black. Why would I say that? I say that because of this. If she was comfortable being Black, she'd never mention it. It'd be like just an afterthought. Everything would be about character. But no, everything's not about character with her. Everything is about race, up to and including who roots for who in the World Cup. And do you see how ridiculous she looks? She's perfectly fine with looking like a fool trying to promote the idea that somebody is racist for rooting for Spain or Argentina or something. It's ridiculous. I mean, this lady is the epitome of a racist. She is absolutely the epitome of a racist, because a racist, a real racist, is going to turn everything to a race issue. They're going to look at it and give the advantage to their race, or say their race is being victimized. To me, that's the epitome of what a racist would be and what a racist is. And that's exactly what Jasmine Crockett is doing here. And that's exactly what she does all the time.
See, they're saying this is whiteness on display. It is not Americanism. This is whiteness, which means that if you think like this, you're thinking white. And thinking white in the black community is a pejorative. So if you do this and somebody says, "Ooh, you're acting white," that means you're supposed to stop it. This is how they see us. This is why they look down on you so. This is why they let you live in the housing projects. This is why they give you the crumbs to fall from the table. This is why they offer you DEI, affirmative action. This is why they treat you like a dog. This is why when they see someone black that has excelled, they look at him as like a unicorn or a leprechaun. You know, like they saw Django. You're one of those exceptional N-words. You're not like the rest. People, I don't think that these habits have a color on them. I think these habits are right and wrong. These are the habits that I have. And you don't get too much blacker than me. These are the habits that everyone in my family has. That's why we're successful. I think these are habits of success. And the opposite are the habits of failure. If you do them, you're successful. If you don't do them, you fail. But they call them whiteness. They see themselves as superior. And it's time for you people out there, black, Asian, all of them, all of you, Hispanics, to look at the Democratic Party for what it is, an evil institution, a party of perverts, liars, psychopaths, and anti-Christian bigots.
And there you have it, family. Jasmine Crockett is the most racist person in Congress, as individuals would see, as you guys got the perspectives and you get the sentiment of what people are saying and viewing her as based on her actions. Not because she's white and hate black people, but because she's black and she's made hating white people her entire personality. She turns everything into a race issue. A real racist is somebody who can't go 5 minutes without bringing race into everything. And that's exactly what she does. She called a hearing where the Republicans were talking about immigration, the Republican Party's great replacement theory therapy session, quote unquote. That's what she said. Instead, it was all the white men of the House Judiciary Committee, quote unquote, lecturing Americans. Think about that. Think about what she just said as I just read that to you. If a white congressman has said all the black women of anything in a derogatory way, that would be a national scandal. There would be hearings. There would be resignations demanded. There would be nonstop coverage on CNN and MSNBC, now known as MS Now. But Jasmine Crockett says, and I quote, all the white men, and it's crickets. That's the double standard. And it's not just unfair, it's dangerous. She even said she even goes as far as to say we should deport all white supremacists. And you got people in the comments agreeing with her, right? And deport all racists. But here's the problem. It is self-explanatory in itself. If a racist is claiming for a racist or a racist to be deported, then if you are the epitome of a racist, you're calling for your own self-deportation. Because everything that comes out of our mouth is about hating white people, about how white people are dangerous, about how white people are a threat to society. And they would see her as a black supremacist. And she's doing it on taxpayers' dime. You can't call for deporting racists while you're sitting there being the most racist person in the room. That's the kind of hypocrisy that makes regular people tune out of politics entirely. And I don't blame them, right? I advocate for unity and love and truth. And love is an action. But if you're constantly looking at someone's skin color to ostracize them and create division, then that's not love, that's hate. And when you see stuff like this, when you see somebody getting away with saying things that would end anybody else's career, it makes you feel like the whole system is rigged. In a lot of ways, a lot of individuals would say it is. It's rigged for people who know how to play the victim game. And then, as you heard Vince Everett Ellison here in this last clip about the Democratic Party and talking about how the Democratic Party looks at black people, he said, they see us as people who need to live in the projects, people who need the crumbs that fall from the table, people who need DEI and affirmative action just to get by. and they don't see us capable. They don't see us as competitive. I mean, he's right in a way a lot of people would say, because the simple fact is voter ID to uphold election integrity, the Democratic Party said that it would basically be disenfranchisement, basically saying that minorities, and in that case, the pool happens to be black people in a minority, they won't be able to get IDs because it's like they're not capable in a way. But they're not saying it directly that they're not capable. They're just saying, oh, well, they're going to have a hard time getting IDs. But don't we use ID for everything? To go on vacation, drink liquor, alcoholic beverages, go into a federal building. You need verification, right? So they don't see them as people who can build businesses, run companies, and create wealth on your own. They see you as a perpetual victim who need their help. And the worst part is, some of us has brought into it. Some of us has brought into the lie that success is white. And that if you work hard, save your money, take care of your family, and follow the rules, you're somehow acting white. I have got told from my own anecdotal experience that I'm a black white boy. I don't even know what that means. I'm just telling you from experience. It didn't offend me. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. We can agree to disagree. But because I speak proper etiquette, or try to uphold my professionalism, or I try to challenge myself to articulate myself more effectively. But that's brainwashing, family. That's straight up mental slavery. The habits of success don't have a color. Working hard isn't white. Being on time isn't white. Getting an education isn't white. Building a business isn't white. Those are habits of successful people regardless of race. And that's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of American culture, or beauty of being in the United States of America, where you can build something out of nothing, regardless of race. And we all unite with our stories to continue to push each other in unity and out of love, to uphold building each other up and speaking in words of building each other up to be successful, learning from all of our anecdotal experiences while extracting the wisdom to share with each other in unity. Right? And the people who tell you otherwise are not your friends. They're keeping you trapped. So what's the takeaway from all this, family? What am I teaching you today? I'm teaching you that division is a business. There are people making millions of dollars off of keeping us angry, keeping us scared, keeping us fighting each other. And the only way to beat them is to see the game for what it is. When a politician tells you that you are a victim, ask yourself why they need you to believe that. When somebody tells you that your success is because of a program and not because of your hard work, recognize that they're trying to take credit for what you built. When somebody tells you that you can't make it without them, that's when you know you need to get as far away from them as possible. The truth is, America is not a perfect country, but it is a country where you can build something. It is a country where you can work hard, make smart decisions, and create a better life for your family. And nobody, not Jasmine Crockett, not any politician, not any media personality, gets to tell you otherwise. And this is where I bring in the scripture, family. Proverbs chapter 6, verses 16 to 19 says this: there are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who stirs up conflict in the community. Read that last part again. A person who stirs up conflict in the community. That's what we're dealing with here. Jasmine Crockett and politicians like her are not bringing people together. They are not healing divisions. They are stirring up conflict, and they're pouring out lies, and they're devising wicked schemes. And the Bible is clear about what God thinks of that. Now, for those who aren't spiritual, here's the life wisdom in plain English. When somebody's job is to keep you angry, they are not trying to help you. They're trying to control you. An angry person is easy to manipulate. A scared person is easy to lead around, but a person who knows their worth, who knows what they're capable of, who refuses to see themselves as a victim, that person is dangerous to the people in power. So don't let them keep you angry. Don't let them keep you scared. Focus on your family, focus on your work, focus on building something real, and let the people who profit off a division talk to themselves. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your post notifications. I always like to say this. As Morgan Freeman said, and I quote, or I'm paraphrasing here, If you want to kill racism, the best way to do it is not to entertain it. But spread that peace, love, and positivity. Let the love supersede the hate, family. I'll catch you in the next one. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. As always, appreciate you, family. I thank you for rocking with me. Love you guys. And on that note, family, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.